Hey there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies. Today's video is about niching and the apocalypse. Okay, so let me see if I can just build this logical progression. I'm defining niche as our role in the community. One of the main aspects of niching that we need to focus on if we're a service provider is who we're trying to reach. Of all the elements of who we're trying to reach, there's the qualities we like in people, there's the demographics, the outer things, there's the psychographics, all the internal things, values, worldview, and all that. The red hot center, the bullseye, is the issue, the problem that they're struggling with, or the result they're craving. So this journey from what I call island A to island B, this is at the center of any worthwhile, workable target market. All those problems that we decide to focus on come from somewhere. They're not naturally occurring necessarily. They're not just a part of the architecture of life. A lot of them have institutional causes from modern culture, modern society. Back pain, we live sedentary lives, we sit at our desks all day. You get it. You could do the list of the different diseases. Depression, the breakdown of community. You need parenting coaches. Why? Because parenting's gotten harder? No, because it takes a village to raise a child. Now we've got this nuclear family business and the single parent business, and people are completely overwhelmed because they should be. We could go on and on. But I would invite you, as I'm talking about this, to be thinking about your niche, to think about the issue that you try to help people solve. And just to consider and wonder about what are these larger causes. I'm not saying traditional indigenous cultures had no problems at all. I'm just saying most of the things I see people hanging up a shingle for their life coaching business or holistic healing business or permaculture business are specifically addressing symptoms that have been brought into existence under the pressure of the dominant cultures of the world. These are almost all symptoms of modernity, we could say. To put it another way, the troubles of the world creates the opportunity for your niche business. And mine too, I'm not separating myself from this. But to say that another way, to take it a step further, the worse things get in the world, the more niche business opportunities there will be. So you see the trouble with this. There's no incentive from our own selfish financial sense for these problems to ever go away. Hey, more problems equals more business opportunities. But I would submit there is a breaking point, or there are multiple breaking points in that scenario. Life and societies can adapt and adapt and adapt and then break at a certain point. So as we face this, apocalyptic feeling time, which for many cultures is a post-apocalyptic time because the apocalypse already happened to them. As we face down what can feel like these end times, where things are getting so crazy, no matter how you understand these times, whether you believe the dominant narrative or you don't, I don't know if it matters particularly because it seems to be unraveling. But of course, the unraveling creates these niche opportunities. So what I'm saying is, a niche business, yes, does it address real symptoms that people are having? It's true. Is it very helpful to those people? It is. Is it needed? Yes. It just can't be the only thing. There are activists, community organizers, communities, community members, all manner of projects and initiatives that are trying to strike at the root of these symptoms and why these symptoms are there. I think another way to say this is we need to find ways to sustain ourselves that aren't just niche businesses. A lot of moving forward, I'll certainly be putting a lot more energy into people who are doing this kind of work in, permaculture and just community building. We need to find ways to sustain ourselves that are not on the internet. Boy, I mean, you want to talk about signs of the end times. The internet is a sign of the end times, to be sure. And the internet, without it, there's no hyper niched businesses. It's the fact that you can reach billions of people, ostensibly, that makes it niched. But the more we do these niche businesses, also, the more we empower the internet. You see what I'm saying? The more we play into, and here I am about to launch an online membership thing. So I get it. What I'm just pleading for, I suppose, from most of us, and I think a lot of you are probably already on this page, is to start planning some food. You can have an online community, if we can call it that. I suppose with the proviso that it's online, maybe some things could be a community of affinity, if not geography. But there's got to be geographic community. There's got to be us connecting with each other locally, live, in real time, finding ways to sustain ourselves locally, not globally, supporting our local bookstore, not buying at Amazon, shopping from the small marts, not the Walmarts. I just think that's so important. Because if our best answer to the troubles of the times is to create a niche business that profits from those troubles, it just feels inadequate is probably the kindest way I can say it. And of course it's overwhelming, and most of us are barely making it day to day. But I just suppose I want to lift that up. Yes, I'm creating a membership program. That's true. It's off Facebook, so that's a plus. And you've probably got ideas and designs of your own. I'm really not knocking it. I'm just hoping that all of us, while we have one eye on the online world, are keeping another eye on this real world, hopefully with the goal of eventually both eyes back on this real world, because the internet is not real. The internet relies on the world, but the world does not rely on the internet. And if all we do is keep making niche businesses based on the increasing unraveling and troubles of the time, the unraveling will increase and the troubles will increase. It's part of the story, but it's so inadequate. It's like you take a pill to make the headache go away. Now, hey, you got migraines. That painkiller is the greatest thing you've ever had. I remember 4 times I passed gallstones before I had to have my gallbladder out 12 years ago, sadly. But I remember a T3 one day, and that was the greatest mercy I ever had. I had anxiety attacks for years after a trauma I went through. And there were a number of times I had an Ativan, and thank God for it. I'm so grateful. But you see what I'm saying? It's not the solution. That's not the long-term fix. So I'm not against the short-term fix. As John Lennon said, whatever gets you through the night, perfect. But how about tomorrow night? And, these are just things I'm thinking about these days. When I think about niching, I hope that, if your niche is the role in the community, it's important that we don't just focus on our role and the well-being of ourselves in that role, but we focus on the well-being of the community. The word niche comes from a French verb nicher, which means to make a nest. And what good is a nest if there's no tree to put it in? So there you go. Hopefully this was of some use to you. If you resonated with this, feel free to share this video up in any Facebook group you're in. You can, of course, subscribe on YouTube, hit the bell icon, and you'll know when I have videos coming up. I've got a website, all those things. And I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, everyone.